What's going on, guys? And today I'm bringing you my full review of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Now, this is one of those games that I thought, at first I'm like, whoa, another Metal Gear, oh, here we go, another stealthy mode, everything like that. Anyways, take anything that you know about Metal Gear, the whole franchise, about the whole, kind of like the third-person view, super stealthy, killing all these guys, slow pace, kind of like that. Just throw it out the window. Not all of it, but just throw it out the window. Because in this game, it's basically almost the opposite of that. Fast paced. Well, it is kind of a little bit stealthy in a way, but not necessarily. Like, you have to do it. Maybe with the other Metal Gears too, but nonetheless, it's kind of like a new Metal Gear. That's what they changed the name, Metal Gear Rising. Yes. And some other stuff. But anyway, so let's move on to the to my review. I'll break it down into sections. I'll tell you a little bit about the story now without spoiling the details in case you want to get it. The next section will be the graphics. Next section will be the sound or the soundtrack. The next section will be the controls, whether they're easy, that'll be hard, it'll be like and the next section will be my likes of it, and the following section will be my dislikes, what I don't like about the game, and finally the replay value and rating. So those are going to be my section to my review of this game, and probably the other future reviews. Basically that's how all my reviews are. So anyways, let's continue on. So the story, it's a few years after. Is it a few years or a lot of years? Anyways, it's after Metal Gear Solid 4, and Raiden has his own little adventures now, his own little section of the Metal Gear franchise, and he is now working in a security company called Mavericks. I think it's Mavericks or something like that. Yeah, PMC Mavericks. And so yeah, they're a security company. They hire these guys, the cyborgs. And the whole Metal Gear is in this few years after, they're full of cyborgs. Like, that's like the whole new PMCs are full of cyborgs now. The robotic bodies or arms or legs, stuff like that. So then this new this company called Desperado comes in along and basically wants to start the whole war between countries again. Like, where they'll get hired, they got paid and some other stuff like that. And the story gets more deeper into that as Raiden figure out who's behind it, who's really behind it, and why this and that. Why are they doing this? Why are they kidnapping kids and stuff like that. And it's a pretty it's a pretty nice story too. And not only that, they get they focus more on Raiden and his past and how he's really like this. Has this really killer, instinct inside of him that wants to just be released. What he likes to call himself, or his alter ego, as Jack the Ripper. He's known as that. He's just he's like a merciless killer. Cutting all these people in half and everything like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool like that. So that's just pretty much a story without spoiling everything. So now moving on to the next section will be about graphics. The graphics in this game are pretty, they're pretty damn good in my opinion. They're great. Graphics look good, and the environment looks good, the enemies looks good. The whole fight, like the blade, the blood spilling all over the place is good. It all looks pretty smooth and good. I really dig the graphics, and that's pretty much it for this. Now let's move on to the next section will be the sound and the soundtrack. It's a good sound, and the whole knifing and everything. But the thing about this game has a nice, has a killer soundtrack. That goes good along with the game. It gets you pumped up. Like, all right, let's go. Let's cut these mother. And it's like it's a really good the soundtrack. It's nice. It's kind of like techno-ish or something, and not all the tracks are like that, but it gets the job done, getting you motivated, to cut some bad guys. That's pretty good in my book. As long as it gets you pumped up, that's it's a plus in my book. Now moving on towards the next section will be about the controls. Now the controls, they're pretty easy. Light attacks are square, heavy attacks are triangle, and circles believe it's to jump, yeah, it's to jump, X is to like ninja run, something like that. And it's pretty cool, like they're pretty much simple controls, you know, R2 to do this, R2 to do that, L1's this, L1's that, R1, L1, R1, they're like simple like that. But you know, they keep it basic, you know, like other kind of like third person sword fighting games, like kind of like the Devil May Cry, which is another one, God of War, you know, stuff like that. They keep it basic and simple, you know, but also make it fun. Fun to do all these combos, fun to do all these attacks, you know, stuff like that. Proper. Now I'm gonna move on towards my like section. You know, I do like a lot of things about this game. You know, I like the story about it. I like how this game focuses more on Raiden's part. You know, he gave a spotlight on Metal Gear 2, and then he was giving a small part in Metal Gear Solid 4, well, Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 4, because Metal Gear 2 is like a Solid Snake way back then. And for now he has his own proper games, you know, focus on everything on him. I do like also about like the fighting mechanics. They're very smooth. They're fast paced. I like the fast paced fighting, like you know, cutting all these foes and everything. And I do also like the graphics. You know, like I said, they're great. They're pretty impressive and everything like that. And now I do like about is blade mode. Blade mode is pretty awesome. It's like it slows everything down, and then Raiden just keeps cutting his enemies into pieces on a very, like, I don't know, in a few seconds, maybe the whole duration is 1 second, or like in real time it's like, you know, a few seconds, maybe like 10 15 seconds. But in his time it's like he did it like in less than a second, you know, stuff like that, like that. And it's pretty cool. Now other thing that I noticed, like, you know, that about this game, it's very how do I say it, very anime-ish. Now, for you folks who like to watch anime, you'll probably understand what I'm talking about. It's very fast-paced. There's blood everywhere. There's you know, all these bad guys are all talking cheesy, maybe cheesy lines or not. You know, it's fast-paced. They do the whole. They cut the enemy down like in half, but he doesn't get cut in half until you know he puts his sword away, or he closes it, you know, stuff like that, and you know, begins the whole cutting, a lot of blood, and then a lot of blood, and a lot of blood, stuff like that. And like I said, you'll be like, what the F is he talking about? You know, if you watch a lot of anime, like let's say for example, what's another sword fight? You know, like Bleach, stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of blood coming out, like ounces, buckets full of blood, stuff like that. Now, there's a few things that I don't like about this game. Now, what I don't like about this game is sometimes the camera angles can be, you know, a little awkward, and when it comes to fighting, it's like, dude, like it's always following you. It's like something's bothering me. Like when I'm fighting like all these bad guys, it's like, shit. It's like something's like, and then I'm like, damn camera, stuff like that. Now, another thing that, you know, this is kind of like, this is probably my biggest dislike about this game, is like there's no proper evading system in a way. Kind of like how God of War and Devil May Cry has, the rebooted version, or whatever. You know, you press R1 or L1 to evade properly. On this game, there's no really one button as opposed to you know, evade as a way. I mean, there's a way, but not like a proper, like you do it like, yeah, you might get damaged, you might not get damaged, and it's they do have a like a block like parry system, but they don't explain it very, like, it's like, all right, you just do this and just press square when they're about to attack. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll just press square, and I kept doing it, and I kept, you know, it was like, I don't know, I don't believe I was off time, but they never said, okay, do I raise my joystick up, my left joystick up when they're attacking like from above, or do I, you know, move it to the left when they're attacking from the left, or do I just press the square? They don't explain that. They just say, all right, when he's attacking, press square, and that's it. You know, that's the tutorial. You know, good luck with that. And when you're fighting, what's his name, Sam? Oh my God, damn. Good luck with that one. If you don't, if you don't master the block parry system, you're gonna have a lot of trouble with Sam. I'm just gonna throw that out right there, because it took me a while just to beat him. I got like, what the? Oh! So then I had to figure out, you had to buy a move, evading system. You had to come up with a strategy of oh, finally did it. That was one of the best feelings I got this year. But but nonetheless, it was a pretty frustrating times about the whole parry and block system. It's like even if you're off like millisecond, whatever the hell, you get damaged and stuff like that. It's like there's some attacks you can't block, so run away or whatever. But it's just like why don't you just give us an evading system and with the block and parry, that would have been much better. Maybe it made it a lot more easier, but still I did it nonetheless. But for those who master it, thumbs up for you guys. And I don't know what he wants. Anyway. So now let's move on to the last sections. It's the replay value and of course my rating. And I gotta say it's for the replay, you probably play it once, maybe not again, unless you're into the trophies, you're playing it until you get all the trophies. That's why I always say, when it comes to that, I always put my replay value medium, moderate, that kind of way, because you'll be like, alright, I passed it once, it was good, maybe I'll give it a try with this weapon, maybe I'll give it another try in easy mode, or maybe I'll go to Revengeance, yeah, something like that, and have fun like that. And for my final rating, I gave it I gave it 2 thumbs up. It's a nice game. It's a really good, great, fast-paced game with 8 out of 10 in my book. In my book, it's an 8 out of 10. Aside with the camera angles, a little bit awkward, and the no proper evading system. You have to heavily rely on the block and parry. If you don't master it, then you're pretty much screwed when it comes to Sam. You guys are like, yeah, okay, it was tough. He was tough. But, after you beat him, he's like, oh, finally. Well, if there was a evading system, I would have probably beat him in the first try. Not to say though, it was still hard though. But, in the end of the game, I did have a lot of fun. Nice storyline. Smooth fighting mechanics. The graphics are great. Very anime-ish, where I kind of like the whole running the walls and everything like that. Yeah, it's cool like that. But anyways, that's it for my full review of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I keep thinking it's another Metal Gear Rising, and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you played this game before, let me know what are your thoughts about this game. If you're thinking about picking it up, let me know. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
So this is Jack's terrifying true form. Aesthetic power! You lost this one! Is that your best? Give it up! Are you that stupid? Fast ass! Give it up! Death approach. This one's on me. I'll put you under, weakling. Now what? Jack, Ripper! You're dead! Bullseye! Stop it!
Or be killed.
Don't be ashamed. It's only nature running its course. Your means end here.
No, I passed one. To you. Sure as the sun will rise.